Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You. You join me on another lockdown video on the deck. Now, last video, exciting day. The response margin was here. We've gone through obviously as much detail as we can go other than fishing it. Today it's about elasticating it. So roller puller bungs, they're a little bit different and require just a little bit more fiddle, and also they've got centre nose cones in there which are also a little bit more fiddle. So we're going to put that elastic through and show you how to do that, and we're going to attach that to a Dacron connector. Now I'm a big believer of keeping bits and bobs. Now this, as you can see from time, is old and there is a lot of gear in here. So in here I keep all my tags, all bits of elastics, all sorts of stuff. Now these boxes are essential. You don't have to, they don't need overfill them with crap. There's probably more elastic in there than I'll ever need, and there's odd connectors and things like that. So if there's a junior fishing or someone's got a whip, there's usually enough elastic within there and connectors to knock somebody's whip up or something like that. So when we do sort of junior fishing and things like that, we take it. But also I always keep connectors and bits and bobs. Just never know when you need them. I used to fish a lot of elasticated feeders. I don't do it as much now, but again, those kind of things, tiny little bits so you can put them on your tips to tip of your pole, so you can hook on like shallow top kits and things like that. All sorts of good idea to keep your elastic. So my little elastic box is here. We're obviously going to need a threader. That's just a diamond eye threader, just same as what you get from any tackle shops. They're essential for what we need, so we do need one of those. We're going to need the elastic itself. This is Hybrid Fusion. Now this is the thicker of, like I said on the last video, I don't normally go that far with elastic. I'm not a big massive believer in pulling the red off, but I do understand the venues. Some of the venues I fish do need a little bit stronger elastic, but the reason that I do go with a Hybrid Fusion from Progen is, I'll just get it out of the pack for you. Even though it's a big elastic and does power up, it's also really stretchy and doesn't feel like a super thick elastic. As you can see, you can feel the power up on it, but it's got some nice stretch to it. So when you're doing sort of these top kits, it still doesn't feel like you're gonna, you know, you're overdoing it, but it will power up, and you will able to get those big fish in easier. And again, these aren't Maver. I just keep all the things that I cut off. So you can see there's two small Dacron connectors which are not good enough for what we need for this. The smaller Dacron connectors. What we need is the one that's on the end of, if we can get it out, I'll show you. Oh, there we go. So this one's a bigger Drennan one, and this is what we'll need for the size elastic like this, just because of the knot. So I always keep spare ones. These are a few different types of other connectors. These are sort of stomp throw connectors. These are the old school styly ones where you've got a little bottom bit on and a sleeve. Now I used to be a fan of these just because they're easy, but now obviously I've been fishing with Dacrons well over 10 years. They're just, my worry is that, you know, they loosen over time and they pull off, and I just don't, you know, I don't use them anymore. So another one here is just another small Drennan Dacron connector. It's just been snipped off. I keep it on there like that. Whenever I need to put a smaller elastic on, like I will be doing on one of these kits, I can just pull that back onto the Dacron hair and cut that bit of elastic off, and we're good to go with another one. So I'll put those ones back. What we'll do is flip the camera around, show you on this table, and we'll get elasticating and show you how to do it. Right guys, you've got these two pieces here. Obviously this is your top. Put that one out of the way just for the minute, and then this is the bottom. Now conventionally you would just put your threader through this opening and work it down a pole and out the other end. You can't do that. The reason is it's got one of these sort of bushes in front of it, and these nose cones, and that's got an extra bush to keep it in line, which makes it a pain in regards to, you cannot thread a threader through there, and the chances of getting it through the eye on the top are near impossible, and so they are with elastic as well. So here is the way to do it. So start with your elastic and thread backwards. So you're starting on that little nose cone and you're threading the elastic all the way. Now I know what you're thinking, it's not going to go through that side eye. You're right, it's not going to go through that side eye, but bear with me. So we're just going to keep threading this all the way down. This will come out the bottom end in a second and we will show you where to go from there. And it is a bit of a pain and an hassle, but this is with the cone on. The cone's super glued in, and this is the only way I can figure out how to do it safely, so that the elastic is in good condition and you don't damage the nose cone or anything like that. I'm just going to tilt this up. It's always, of course you can put a threader through and do this and pull the elastic through if you want, but the elastic's quite thick on this one and it should be able to drop out the other end like it has done now. So now what we've got is the elastic running through the top end, and now you can see it's running through the bottom end as well. So we're just going to pull out a little bit to work with. This is where we now go. So as you can see, that's not coming through there and we need that elastic to come through there. So what we need to do is we get the diamond eye part of the threader, the one with the loop on it, and instead of going up the pole like we normally would, we go down the pole towards the bottom. We thread that through. Oh, should take a couple of seconds like that, and now you can see it's through the side and it's through the bottom. And what we're going to do now is just gently rest that on that chair out of the way, and we're going to use the diamond eye. So now it's slightly twisted, and that's how it works. So you want to slightly open the loop up a little bit to get your very end of your elastic through. It's quite a thick elastic, so it should hold on the quite well, and just pull through sort of half an inch and just pull it against the loop like so. And what we're going to do now is pull that this threader back through. That's going to pull the elastic back through, and you can see it's pulled it back through there now, and I keep pulling it until it reaches taut on the other end. So now we've got elastic through there and we've got elastic through where we want it. Very simple, but so many people ask me this question. Right, so the next part, moving on to the little special box that we talked about before, that's got all my little spares in. Now like I say, I don't fish stone throw connectors anymore, but what I do use is the sleeves for beads on elastics. So that's one reason that I do keep them, and just so happens that they're a similar sort of colour. Now I don't want that sat there like that. What I want it sat the opposite way round, like so. So what we'll do is we'll pull that on right in a second. So to do that, I'm going to put this bead on now. I'm going to put it through the back of the bead, or the sleeve, or whatever you want to say. Like I was saying, if you want to use a bead, use a bead. If you don't, use a sleeve like I've done, and then just pull your elastic off the connector. Now to create a knot, it's quite a thick elastic on this, so I'm just going to pinch two pieces of the elastic. Don't too much. Just want to make sure I've got enough to work with at the other end, so I'm not going to waste too much. So make a loop, stretch the loop, and do an overhand knot, and pull that down tight. Bit of moisture on there to pull the knot down, like so. And you're left with a loop with a tag. Cut the tag, giving yourself a couple of mil, and snip the loop, giving yourself a couple of mil, and then that leaves you with what they call a spider knot, like so. And that spider knot is now going to be pulled into the feeder bead, or the little bead, or the little stone throw connector, like so. And that happily sits in there now, and now we've got a bead that we can, if I pull on the elastic on the other end, sit nicely against the side of the pole, and that's a bead to pull it out. Like I say, you can do a loop, you can do whatever you feel comfortable using. That little bead's not going to go nowhere. I've got lots of faith that's going to stay on, and you can hear the roller puller system, which we'll come back to once we've got the whole kit done. So now that one is the one that goes out of the way, and we move on to the next part. So the next part is a little bit simpler. So we start with the end with the bush on, and that's where we're going to put the threader through. Now the threader, just dropping down onto the floor. What we want to do is we want, again, the diamond side, but this time the diamond side goes in first, because we need to pull the elastic back through it. Again, you would find it very difficult to do it the opposite way around. So I'm just going to thread that diamond eye threader through there, nice and simply, and it'll, a couple of seconds, and it'll come out the other end. There we go. So now you can see the threaders come out the other end, and what we want to do is again grab that elastic right down to the other end, and we want that diamond end to put that piece of elastic through. So again, just need to, it's a little bit fiddly, especially when you've got a thicker elastic, but we just need to stretch the diamond eye to get a bit of elastic through, which is proving to be a bit of a ball ache because the hole's trying to roll away at the same time. Come on, Mr. Elastic. Obviously it don't know it's on camera. I should be able to get through on that one. This is the problem when you've got a bit thick elastic. There we go. And again, just pull yourself out a little bit of an insurance piece and grab the other end and just work the elastic until it comes through the other end, like so. And now what we can do is join the top kit together, like so, via, just going to rest that on that piece of thing that I've got over there. Now once we've done that, you can see, and this is why I said don't cut off too much excess. We've only got 2.5 inches there, and if we'd let it go, you know, too much, it wouldn't have been perfect. So what you want to do now you've got the end, I'll give it a little bit of a stretch, and I don't want it to be too tight, but I don't want it to be slack either. So my sort of guide of it is when it's already in, so let go of it and let's see how far it goes in, and pull it out about 2 inches. Once you pull it out about 2 inches, just create a knot. Now there's going to be loads of people who've got their own say in this, and that's fine. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. I respect that, but this is my way. So I'm tying that knot twice. Just give it a little wet, pull it down, and that creates a knot on the line, like so. And what we're going to do is just snip about a couple of mil in front of it, and then this is where the Dacron connector comes in. So there's a loop on the end of the Dacron connector, and we're just going to grab that little tag and pull that through that loop. Can be sometimes a little bit fiddly with it. There we go. So now you can see it's sat behind that knot. I'm just going to bring it down, bring the bead down so you can see it's sat behind the knot, and we bring it up to the knot like so. Just give it a little pull, nice and firm, and that's pulled that big knot right inside of that bead super tightly, really tight. There we go. You can see there's just the tip of the elastic that's come out. Now that is in solid. There is no way, and I have honestly done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kits, and people have got their own ways. I have never ever ever had a Dacron connector come off, ever, doing it this way. And everyone's going to have their own attachment. Some use little swivels and shove it in the end, tie some nylon on it, some do a spider knot. that's fine. This is the way I do it. The knot stays inside, it's pulled through the tip of the bead, it is super tight, the little tag's stuck out there, wedge in the end, it's going absolutely nowhere. So let me zoom back to main camera, we'll show you what it looks like as a full kit, and we can sort of see how that works. Well guys, nice, simple, easy way to do it. Now again, there's loads of different things out there, people all have their own ways and means of doing it. This is my way. I've never ever had a problem with a top kit. I don't think I've even broken an elastic for best part of 10 years, never mind anything coming off. I've never ever had a dacron come off ever, and I've never had an elastic pulled through the pole ever. The only time is maybe when I used stomp throw connectors, and I didn't really know a lot about elastics way back when. So let's have a look at the kit itself. So now we've got that lovely 18 to 20 Pro-Gen hybrid fusion, and it comes out silky smooth, really nice, and straight back into the pole. You can see it retracts well, but we're not putting a lot of tension on to take it out, which is what you want. Moving into the middle part of the pole, you can see that centre nose cone is got the bush in it, and it's keeping that elastic, as you can see, central to the pole, which is stopping with the friction on the inside of the top kit. And then it moved down to the bead. It comes out nice and easy to pull out, and you know, it's sat with that spider knot in there. It's not going nowhere, it can't come out, and you know, it's just a lot of confidence in the top kit itself. It's a little bit more faffy with the nose cones to put it in, but once you've done it, it's dead easy to do. These top kits, obviously, with the roller pullers, are a little bit different. It's the nose cones that makes it a little bit more fiddly, but still well easy to do on your own. Don't. I mean, if you're really not confident, then you know, the shop that you buy it from 9 times out of 10. I know Bobco do, I know Angling Direct do, and I'm sure there's a lot of others and local shops that'll do it for you. But it really is simple, and if you're going to get a pole that's going to have more than one kit, it's a good thing to learn. And you know, if you're going to do it yourself, it's not that hard. Just take your time, don't pull and rag on things, that's when expensive things gets broken. Obviously they're a little bit different when you need to put bushes and cut things down. Again, just come and ask me information if you need to know how to cut these down using junior hacksaws. I can go into that. I obviously can't do it because I haven't got anything to cut it down. I just wish when my friend got his Sensors pole and I had to cut them down, I could have showed you then. But essentially, using a junior hacksaw, it's all about doing it bit by bit until your internal bush fits really well, and then just gently super gluing it, and you've got to leave that completely to dry before you go anywhere near it with elastics, otherwise you could be in a bit of a pickle. So yeah, thank you for joining me as always. We can't wait to get this bad boy out on and out some use and get some carpies in the net. Facebook group, remember those live feeds on Friday nights 7 PM, and me and Matt have figured a way out to both be on screen at once this time, just like we do on Instagram. So you know, really interactive and a lot of good fun. And then we jump across to Instagram, which is angling_for_you at around 8 o'clock, and we again follow on from there. So join us on one or both of those live links on the Fridays if you can. Like and subscribe for us on the channel. Thank you for all your support, and be safe. Thanks a lot guys. Tight lines.